Hey everybody, today we're here to give you some trade secrets on how to make really fabulous stew. Chicken stew today, a chickenless stew today is what we're making. And right here I've got a pot that has boiled in it potatoes, carrots, and celery. There's your three fabulous ingredients that in the restaurants we would actually have 5-gallon buckets filled with nothing but cooked potatoes, carrots, and celery in that same mixture because we could use it for so many different things. So there's your three ingredients: potatoes, carrots, and celery. Now, depending what you're going to cook as far as what kind of flavor you're going to get. Now, you can do some chickenless bases. You could onion and garlic it and do different things. The chickenless bases work pretty good. But then you'd have to thicken it with a cornstarch, or you could do the flour and oil, do that type of roux. For chicken stocks, you would want to do a light golden roux, and for beef stocks, you would do a more of a cooked roux that is darker in color. Whole different ball of wax there. But you can always thicken it up with a couple different things there. And I don't want to use the flour and oil because I'm trying to stay away from all that oil. Today, we're going to show you a couple easier things you can do. This is Leahy chicken gravy. This is just vegan chicken gravy. This is actually gluten-free too. And really fabulous gravy. There's a couple different brands out there, just gravy mixes. And what I did was I actually just added a little bit of water to this and gave it a stir, because basically this is a cornstarch base. I'm not sure if it's cornstarch or cornstarch. Yeah, it's still a cornstarch base. So you could actually put this right in the pot, but it doesn't always separate the way you'd want it to. So I always give it a little stir in some cold water. And then we're going to stir this right into our boiling hot vegetables. So we went from having basically vegetable soup to vegetable stew. In a matter of no time. Vegetable soup to vegetable stew. You determine how thick you want the stew based on how much you put in there. You want a thicker stew, you just add more of the gravy base to it, and it will thicken up more and more. But I think that's pretty good right there, because I want to share with you a couple more trade secrets here. And let me share with you, let me get you to take a look at this real quick here. But that's pretty good. It's pretty thick. It's actually kind of clinging to the, and it will thicken up a little bit as time goes on. So regardless how you do this, you're going to get your flavor one way or the other. Another trick to thickening is you can just add some mashed potatoes. Now, I'm not a big mashed potato user for thickening when it comes to chicken stews, because sometimes you'll see these little clumpy things in there. Mashed potatoes work a lot better when you're doing split peas. If you're going to do a split pea soup, mashed potatoes is your best thickener, because you don't see it. You don't see those little clumps that look like it's separated. And same thing with potato soups. You know, if you're doing a white potato, you don't see the mashed potato in there. So, but it is a good secret to doing soups. Another thing we're doing, since we're doing an actual chickenless stew, these are the Butler soy curls that I use quite often. And all you got to do is just throw some of these in there. You can do this before or after you thicken it. It really doesn't matter. After like this, I might need to add a little more water. But like I said, we're going to get this baby thickened up a little bit here. So we're going to add some of these Butler. And by the way, I buy these by the 12-pound boxes, because I use them all the time. They're such a great, healthy, organic, non-GMO product that you'll use it all the time. Now, the one thing that we also do is I took and made baked potatoes, and I said, well, since I'm making a chicken stew, I'm going to make a bunch of extra baked potatoes. And I peeled them and diced them, and that's what I have here. A lot of people throw their potatoes in the pot raw, but then they break down. A lot of times they're breaking down, where if you cook them ahead of time, either boil them or bake them and then let them chill, they tighten up. Then when you put them in your stew, it doesn't break down like it would if you just threw in raw potatoes. Either way, rather you throw in raw potatoes or you do cooked potatoes that have been chilled and tightened up and chopped, you want to put them in last. You don't want them to be cooking in there all the time. So here we go with the potatoes. See, we do have a couple more ingredients here to make it a real chicken stew. Look at that. See how it's coming together now? And the Butler soy curls have already sucked up all the moisture and they're already ready to go. So that looks really good. The only other ingredient we're going to do, and I do this right at the last minute, is the peas, right before you serve. Some people put the peas in too far ahead of time, and then you end up with these brown, ugly, smashed up peas. But you want to put the peas in at the very last minute right before you serve. Then ta-da, we have chicken stew ready to go. So any way you do it, it's going to be fabulous. This is just one of those wonderful, wonderful foods that any time of the year, anytime, I just love stews because you got lots of healthy foods in it. And just like that, boom, you've got a healthy chicken stew in no time. So it's nice to do some prep work ahead of time. The potatoes, celery, and onions, you can always make that blend and freeze it in baggies. So you can just pull it out, add some gravy. If you wanted to do beefless stew, you just add beefless gravy to it. And I've got some beef substitutes as well. But there you go, from a soup to a stew. This also works really good to make chicken pot pies. You can put your puff pastry doughs underneath, put the filling in there, put the puff pastry dough on the top, throw it in the oven, and boom, you've got a chicken pot pie ready to go as well. So lots of different ways you can use this. All right, that's it for today, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.